Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Valzar Gaming. Today I will be doing the Olaf Champion Spotlight. I always start off going for a Philosopher's Stone, just throwing it out there right at the beginning. And I'm going to go through his abilities right away. His unique passive is Olaf's attack speed is increased by 1% for each 1% of his missing health. These are the items that I use. I start off with the Philosopher's Stone, Avarice Blade, and I'll usually, whether or not I rush the enchantment for the Alacrity Boots or Berserker Greaves, kind of changes depending on the circumstance and whether or not I need mobility. And his Q throws his axe, which slows enemies by 24% at level 1. I always start with my Q because it allows me to get minion lanes, and then I'll max my W first for this particular build. It does 80 physical damage to units, and it hits all units it passes through. Go away. His W is probably one of his most important of his skills. I'm going to be having a difficult time with Kennen. For 6 seconds, all its attack damage is increased. For so much, 1% of his maximum health, and against lifesteal and spell vamp according to the level. And his E does true damage over time, 100 at level 1, and it adds an extra 100 for every level, for 500 true damage at level 5. And his ultimate gives him armor, magic resist, armor penetration, and he becomes immune to all stuns and disables for the duration. 6 seconds. And let's get right down into actually showing his play. I pick Exhaust and Ghost for top lane. He's usually good for picking. If you were to play draft pick, you would be playing against an enemy melee champion. Oh, there's duo top. This is going to be very difficult. Darn it. I'm going to suck, but whatever. I'll keep just doing it as I usually do. And build situationally, I'm going to have to rush Malmortius. In this kind of situation, we are going against an AP champions. Malmortius, very good item. It gives you attack speed per level. Or, not per level, I'm sorry, as you lose your health. So it scales with his unique passive of Berserker Rage. Oh, they're keeping me under this turret. I have a feeling I'm going to need to rush Tiamat. Who's gotta come help me? I'm just going to have to play defensive for the first part of this game. But I really don't want to die. They're not letting me CS. I have to get this so I can truce damage. Hit the minions. I usually don't get my E until level 4, but they're making it really hard for me to last hit. And it doesn't cost mana, it costs health. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, only his Q and W cost... No, I'm sorry, only his E will cost health. For some reason I thought his W did for a second. His E costs health to use, so you don't need mana to use it. All his other abilities do. Pretty high cost, though. Especially later on. This is not a good start to this game. I'm pinned under the tower the whole game. You never know what's going to happen when I record these videos. These aren't really scripted. Which is kind of why I'm having to redo the first one. Wow, I have to pop a potion if I want to last hit. There we go. If he keeps ganking like this, this is going to be an easy lane. There we go. 2 kills in the top lane. I shouldn't have to worry about buying wards this game, which is the best part. Because they don't have a jungler. And since I'm being denied creep score, I'm going to have to rush Averse Blade right next to my Philosopher's Stone. The reason I get Averse Blade, by the way, is because later on I'll be getting an Atma's Impaler and a Warmogs. So it would help to have as much gold income now while I still can. Can I buy it? I can actually buy it right away, so within the first 6 minutes of the game, I have both a Philosopher's Stone and an Averse Blade, so even if I'm not able to get the creep score, since I'm stuck under the turret. Is the stream clipping for you, Brian? It was clipping for me for a second, but now it's not. Okay, whatever. So, I'm only going to start off with my Boots of Speed, since I'm not going to be able to be utilizing my attack speed early game, so I'm going to keep leveling up damage and health items. Get my Tiamat pretty quickly. It looks like if Pantheon babysits top, we should be able to get kills pretty easily. Maybe I should have put that ward in the top bush. Oh, it is clipping sometimes. Well, it clips for you because you're in Holland, and you have to buffer the whole video live. Shoot, I should have asked Luke to be on. Oh, right, he's at school right now. Haha. Hey, man, I have no health. They're at full health. I don't want to get nuked down the last time. We won last time because I had all of my stuff up. This time I don't have very much on me. Did that use health even though it didn't cast? I think it did. Yeah, this is bad. That's why I didn't want to do it, because we weren't going to win. So I'm actually not going to hit Berserker Greaves this game. I'm going for Merc Treads. Okay. I might actually end up getting a Banshee's Veil this game. Out of school. You're out of school. I've been out of school. Been out of school since... Where's my class ring? I actually have to check the year on my ring every once in a while because I don't remember when I graduated. I can't find it right now on it. It's too dark in here. Sooner I get a Hydra, the better. Now would be a perfect time to gank. Oh, this turret's really low. I might not be able to hold it. Ah, oh, frick. I just lost half my health to those pokes. Come on, go in! No! Couldn't lie still fast enough. Okay, I think I'm gonna get the... I got double kill though. Oh no, he took both the kills. Oh, whatever. He's 4-3-2. That made him positive. Okay. Ugh, okay, I'm gonna try and get Merc Treads so I can get some movement speed. Also, the reason I get Alacrity, I don't always get Alacrity. Sometimes I get Furor, but against AP champions that have lots of CC, I'll get the Alacrity instead, because if I can't keep hitting them, I won't be gaining any movement speed. So, Furor, helpful. If I was someone else like Sivir, Fiora, maybe I'd get it. Probably Sivir, because then I could block abilities and stuff. But who plays Sivir? Nobody plays Sivir. Nobody would ever want to play Sivir. No. I don't have my exhaust up. Ha! I'm gonna try and keep him pushed up. I'm not gonna be getting the CS anyway, but I'd rather not lose my tower right away. Oh, no you don't. Oh, you live. No, you don't! Darn it! Oh, man, got away with 11 health. Jeez, he lived through my true damage. If he's still here, I'm gonna dive him. I'm gonna take this tower right away. They're gonna end up taking mine no matter what I do at this point. So I'm trying to keep... I usually will play with more of an aggressive stance with Olaf. And once I get my Tiamat, I will be able to get farm much more easily. But I don't really think that's going to be a priority right now. Oh shoot, Elisa's already here. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Alacrity enchantment early, because I'm having issues with kiting them. Kennen's really fast. Elise is kiting with her E more than I would like her to at this point in this game. So we lost the tower, but I managed to take theirs too. I'm gonna try and get up there. He's still there. Uh-oh. This is gonna be really close. Huh, they traded, so I should be able to pick up Kennen when I go in. I've got my ultimate up, so he won't be able to stun me. Question is whether or not he'll stay to fight. He's staying to fight. Sorry, buddy, I can't be disabled. He's not gonna get away. Maybe he will. Need to regen a little bit. Oh, there's a break in the combat. He might be trying to run away, though. He probably is. Let me check if he's there. He's not there. By the way, also, I forgot to mention, when you throw an axe into a bush, it will grant vision for a split second. Which means that if you don't want to face check a bush, or you're trying to chase down an enemy and you're trying to figure out which way he went or hit someone in the bush, you can just throw that axe, and it'll grant you vision. Ah, Brian plays over. You won't see me do a Sivir Champion Spotlight. Unless I just happened to get it when I was playing draft pick and a counter. But there aren't very many. There are better. Everyone does her job better. It's like Tristana. Everyone does her job better. Unless she's going with a Taric or Scion. But Scion's like broken now, so. Same diff. I'm going to take golems from my jungler. And I'm going to see if I can take their blue buff. Or red buff. Looks like our Diana's going to get... Yep, there she goes. Elise left the top lane, finally. And I'm going to see if I can get this Kennen. And now. I'm not gonna win this. Oh, I should probably have mentioned that Kennen is a counter to Olaf, so I am kind of leaning against a counter right now. There aren't very many counters to Olaf. Ezreal can be one, but typically isn't if you're able to hit your axes. But I haven't seen a top lane Ezreal since... Oh, probably since the first 2 months he came out. Nobody really builds him tanky anymore. Someone just told me to play Sivir mid because no one expects that. Yeah, but if someone they get someone like Akali, you're screwed. So, this is taking. This is going really slow for a spotlight. I'm sorry, but usually there's a lot more action than this, except for the couple of exchanges that we've had. I'm going to be leaving the top lane very, very soon and going mid. Oh, look who's here. Hello! Aww. I just lost health from that. So far so good. Even laning against two other people who are keeping me under the tower, I'm still even. I have a little bit of creep score. I have about as much creep score as Kennen. Same amount. Elisa's, of course, getting them too because they're duo top. So I'm going to finish up and try and get a Hydra right away, and then I will get a Warmox and get an Atma's Impaler so I can get more health. And of course the Atma's Impaler, Olaf has naturally high health, and if you increase his health, he gains damage as you gain health. And then I'm going to finish off my build with a Maul of Malmortius. Actually, no, I'll have another spot. I'll see. I'll build situationally. Well, I'll probably end up getting a Maul of Malmortius and a Banshee's Veil if I have room. I am out of mana. I'm gonna die. Alright, so Hydra is probably going to be my main method of damage from now on, because I'm going to be doing a lot of splash damage. And of course, when you activate Hydra, it's kind of like activating Shyvana's Q. It'll let you hit a second time, independent from your attack speed. So as soon as you hit your make your hit, activate it, you'll hit again, without having to wait for the rest of the animation to finish up. Not sure if that's a bug or if it's intentional, but I'm going to say it's intentional because I think it's pretty nice. Something you'll see me do during these fights against him, when he starts to out-kite me a bit, I'll run around and hit the minions and regen right back up. Because if I'm not able to hit him and I'm just running along like an idiot, I'm going to die a lot quicker than I would otherwise. And sometimes it can win me an exchange. So doing the best I can against Kennen. Going to try and get a Hex Drinker next. And rush the Maw of Malmortius before I get the Warmogs and Atlas Impaler. And the final line of my build will be a Banshee's Veil, if we last that long. So we got Kennen in that fight. He is still pretty fast. It's making me hard to kill him. But with Pantheon by my side, ganking the lane, we should be fine. Olaf is also a counter to Elise. Probably has something to do with why I'm doing so good in this lane as I am. I'm not going to live here, but I did manage to take half his health out. And there's a Hex Drinker. That'll give me a significant amount of defense against Elise and Kennen. Now, it's a little different. The reason that Kennen is more of a counter to Olaf and Elise is not a counter to Olaf, despite the fact that they're both AP, is the fact that melee range and pokes. Elise can poke with her Q, but it doesn't really do a lot. It does damage to the enemy's maximum health, and I do have a lot of maximum health, but it has a long cooldown, so it's usually not an issue. I can regenerate it and lifesteal it back by the time that it's dealt. She also has part of her damage output is from when she turns into spider form and she gets her spiderlings. I always have a Ravenous Hydra on Olaf because the splash damage makes it very, very useful in team fights, and so I'm helping the team out and for taking CS quickly and efficiently as necessary. You can see I always try to use my Exhaust and Ghost around the same time as my ultimate. So I'm getting speed, they're losing speed, I can't be disabled. It makes any slow-moving target a pretty easy kill, if it wasn't already. So right now I'm 6-5 and 6, and we are winning this lane very, very easily. We lost a turret, but we pushed all the way to their inhibitor. Diana really is casting, but it's fine. She's pretty much carrying us in the mid lane. If it were, say, I don't know. It's actually okay if any of us get fed, because we're all champions who can carry late game. Hello. Alright. Managed to save Garen from that. My ultimate's up in 10 seconds, so I should be able to tower dive him. Looks like he's not going to engage, though, so... Managed to avoid the stun when my ultimate ran off. Looks like he might be timing it. But I don't think so. I think it just happened to come off a cooldown right when he threw that Q. We're gonna try to engage. I might engage to try and pull them off Diana a bit. Oh, Pantheon's coming on, so we might actually do an engage, and I don't have to kill myself. Oh, I wasn't able to take them down in time. I pinged for them to attack, but they didn't. Pantheon might be able to get that. They traded. Right, so I'm gonna get... I've got my Maul of Memorius now. This is giving me significant amount of magic resist. It scales with my attack damage, and I gain attack damage as I lose health. And since I gain attack speed as I lose health, it goes great for my W stacks. And since I will absorb the last 400 damage, magic damage that I'll take before I die, that means that Kennen shouldn't be able to nuke me down as hard, or at least be able to finish me off as quickly as she would like. So I'm going to try and get a Warmogs now, so I can get a little bit more health. And then I'll go for the Etma's Impaler, so I'm getting more damage. By the end of my build, I believe I will have some 373 attack damage. If my memory's serving me right, I'm probably thinking of a different champion off the top of my head. With a different build. Yeah, you know what? That's not going to be right, because I got them all in Memorius this time. I can't do that in my head right now. We'll see if the game lasts that long. It looks like it's not going to. But once again, I do build such a way. I'm going to go ahead and put my item sheet up here. So these are the starting items, mid-game items, alternative items. And then if you can't find a better item to put and none of them will do, I have some last-ditch items posted here that can work well on Olaf. Or they're in order between when they would best be used. So the items at the end, probably you're not going to be using them, but it could be used in other circumstances. As other champions come out, that they work well on Olaf. I picked out as many as I could. The ones in the last session, I don't recommend using these by any stretch. But if you had to get something else, you could get something from that section. I'm going to try and disengage this, because I don't want to get caught up there. I had to pop my ghost and my ultimate. I'm going to try and go in there and get into this fight. And get in on those AP casters. Alright, I eliminated the ADC threat immediately. I'm not going to let Lux get away from me. She's not going to escape. Woot! Alright. So that was no for 3. Just in these fights, being in the right position at the right time, focusing the right targets. Olaf is good for taking out squishies without any real form of CC when his ultimate is down, and if it's up, he doesn't care. He is going too fast for me to catch. So it looks like we're going to end this here. And thank you very much for watching this. Please like the video if you liked it, favorite if you enjoy it. Leave a comment below and I will read them, and I'll take suggestions for builds, either for this build, to redo it, or for future builds. And I hope to see you next time. I'm not going to end it right here, but because I need to show you guys the masteries and rune page that I am using for this build. I have 2 different rune pages, or mastery pages rather, that I will use for Olaf. One would be the one I would use for Fiora, but I'm using a more tankier build right now for survivability, and it's probably what won us the lane. But if I were going against draft pick and I was playing against more of like a squishy melee such as Tryndamere or even Nautilus, I would use that build. So, still had the most gold in the game. I had a great kill-death ratio, thanks to this Pantheon. This was a really good Pantheon. I just added Diana, but whatever. Teamwork! And let's show you the damage done in general. I have the most damage done in general, and I should have the most damage to... Yep, I have the most damage to enemy champions in the game, despite being very defensive early on in the game. He is a great asset in team fights. Highly recommend playing. And I'll show you guys my masteries that I use. These are the masteries that I use. 21 defensive, 9 on offensive. The reason I do that is for the survivability. However, if you are playing draft pick and you happen to be going against someone who is squishy, melee, doesn't have a lot of CC, I would recommend using this rune page, which is 27 offensive and 3 in utility. And I hope you liked... Oh yeah, one more thing. I should show you my runes. And this rune page is one that I've built for Olaf. And it was meant for Shyvana and Draven, not so much Ezreal. But here you go, 2% lifesteal, minus 10% cooldown at level 18, because I don't have a lot of cooldown items in my build, 6.9% attack speed, 31 physical damage at level 18, and I hope to see you in my next video, maybe, and I will play with you. I am Velithor on the NA server, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.